Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they are meant to be. I am Julia, the magical PT, where I support mostly women, but men too, if they need it, in healing their bodies and on the level of body, mind, and spirit, because you can't heal one without healing the others. So I am joined here today by my amazing partner in crime, Allison. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Am I frozen? Are you frozen?
No, I see you.
Frozen?
You're good.
Okay, I'm good. You never know. Okay, my name is Allison Mancini. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I'm excited to be here today. We were just discussing this, have many careers. So I'm a holistic nutritionist, which you didn't even say this, so we're gonna have to come back to you, / human resources director for the Gold Digger Girl, / podcast host. And I think that's it for now. I think we'll just stick with those three right now. So, and / mom, wife, and dog mom. There we go. Now I got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I'm like, it's so much that I don't think I have to talk about all of it every time. So yeah. I focused more on my healing persona.
I like that.
And we can talk about the other ones on other shows. But
so
what I want to talk about right now is, so we're all bookaholics over here, and because there's not enough time to read, I do this whole Audible book thing. So it's funny, like, I love music, but after a while I'm like, I've heard that song a million times. So the books are much more interesting. Even though it's a 10-minute ride, it's amazing how quickly you can get through books. 10 minutes to work, 10 minutes home, here and there. But what I'm listening to right now is Jack Canfield's, is it Principles of Success? Or
Success Principle. It's a bit, you know what? And it's like this thick. It's a big book.
I know. It's like 20 some hours.
Yeah, it's a big book. So listening to it on Audible, I probably should have done that because it's really good, but it's really long. Yeah.
So anyway, what was being talked about as I was driving in this morning was to be successful, you have to know what you want. And, not just in career or whatever, but in general in life. And, talking about, and I am so guilty of this all the time because I'm a very flexible, laid back person. And so, we have a group of people and we're going to go to dinner. Where do you want to go to eat? I don't care. Where do you want to go? Wherever you want to go is fine. A bunch of us.
I know you do that. You do that with me.
Yeah. And like, you're not going to get yourself what you want. You're not going to get success if you're always letting everybody else's wants and needs coming before yours. And so I'm like, starting today, like, I even did it with this. You're like, what do you want to talk about? I told you what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about.
Good for you. I think it's a clarity issue, right? Because it's interesting. We were talking about this a little bit before briefly, and my job at the Gold Digger Girl, one of the things that we were talking about was, let me back that up a little bit. So working for Kimberly, she's very, very big on, continually learning and growing and education. And so she's, she wants us to continue to do those things. So part of that is I'm doing this, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a workshop. It's called Legacy Leaders. And one of the conversations in this training that I was listening to was knowing what you want. Like, you aren't going to get where you want to, like, If you don't know, if you aren't clear on that, and that's the same thing. And I'll have to tell you, it's interesting that you bring this up because I used to be really bad at that. Like I would look at Nick and go, wherever you want to go, wherever, whatever you want to do. The kids, what do you guys, wherever you want to go. Nick started getting really aggravated with me that I just wouldn't say straight up where I wanted to go. So now when he asks, I straight up, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go. I texted him the other day. I said, I want to go out to dinner tonight. I don't feel like making dinner. I want to go out. He's like, okay. I mean, yeah, just got to ask. Just got to say it. But I think it comes back to being clear, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to be clear on what you want. And, now I'm even asking myself, like, where in my life too am I just like, because I wasn't putting myself first enough that I've just like haven't even bothered to gain clarity. Like, and I'm just laughing, like going back to the restaurant thing, like you calling me the food snob the other day, which I totally am. I buy it 1,000%.
You are.
And even in that area of my life, I have clarity about what I want to eat, but I still let other people's needs come before mine. So enough already. Like I'm done eating where you want to eat. I'm going to eat where I want to eat.
You've been saying you want to go to the Foundry forever, and we keep not going.
We're going to the Foundry.
We're going to the Foundry.
There you go.
There it is.
So, anyway, I think enough about this. Let's bring, we have a guest. Let's bring her on, and it'll be so much more interesting.
Hi, Mia.
Hi, Mia.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Great.
I find you guys very interesting. I could just sit here and watch.
Well, that's the goal. That's what we want. So we're glad we're accomplishing that. So why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them who you are, what you do.
Oh, boy. I am Mia Scornavaca. I was originally born in Miami, Florida, and I've never lived outside of Florida until now. I'm in Atlanta. My father was a very influential artist, original Grove artist in the 60s when it was Coconut Grove was artists and hippies, literally. And okay, we got little things here. Jessica says, hi, Mama Mia. I'm going to get distracted. So he and his buddies, my dad started the arts festival in the Grove.
Wow.
Think about it. It was the 60s. The town was sleepy. Nobody there on the bay, Peacock Park. They had their galleries, their studios and galleries. And my dad had been in festivals like in New York and other places. I thought, hey guys, why don't we just go down to the sidewalk and sell our art? And they literally did that. And it literally grew to he was involved, I guess, through maybe the 80s, but he wasn't like administrative or on the board. There was nothing like that. He was an artist. So, but anyway, I'm very proud of my father. We have a lot of his art. My mother was an RN at Mercy Hospital on the Bay for about 35 years and worked at Jackson. I have two older sisters. One of them passed away right before COVID, unfortunately. It's Anna, Tony, Laura, Mia. I'm the baby. So she and I were the closest. So I have my brother, and he's a broker in Coconut Grove, real estate broker. My sister is a retired attorney. She's living in Sebastian. Let's see what else. So I went to FIU. I graduated from Coral Gables High School, went to Florida International University with a degree in accounting. I wanted to go to art school. I actually studied art for a year, and then I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make money because my father, unfortunately, the recession hit and he didn't sell art anymore. He supported a family through the 70s selling his art. I have some pieces of my brother that didn't sell, but on the back, he wrote literally $5,000. That's how much he wanted for that painting. But he did sell plenty of paintings for that and more. During this, it's crazy thinking about it now. But anyway, so I quickly changed my mind as I saw him unfortunately not doing well financially. And I had always been a math person. So I decided to choose accounting because I knew I could probably get a job. And 30 some years later, I've always gotten a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a CPA, worked in Miami, met who became my husband, now my ex-husband. I was really young. He was way older, but we stayed together, had kids. I wanted kids. We moved to Central Florida. Marriage went really bad. He was controlling and oppressive and textbook, but he's the father of my kids. So I would never go back in time. So moved to Central Florida, had the 3 kids, got out of the marriage, went back down to Miami as a single mother. And it was tough. It was tough because my one sister, Laura, was out in LA. She was an actress. And I really didn't have, like, my mom was no longer around. Like, I didn't have people helping me get the kids. And it was really stressful. But I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. And at some point along the way, I was wanted to put my middle kid into improv lessons. Well, they couldn't have the class because there weren't enough. There were only he was like the only enrollee, so the only student. So that day when I took him with my daughter, she was really little, the teacher said, let me give you one class for free. So he gave us a class. I felt like I was a child on a playground. I was like, move aside, son. Mom's going to teach improv classes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It made me happy with all the stress that I had. And they were little. It was like kind of the beginning. I was back down in Miami in 2005. So long story short, took improv classes, graduated at the theater, Just the Funny in Miami, and performed on and off for 8 years. I absolutely loved it, but I got the acting bug because I'm an actor now. That's why I'm here in Atlanta. I called my sister in LA and I said, Laura, I want to be an extra on a feature film. And she said, why? Well, you have to ask yourself why, because you're going to take a day off from work. Why? And I said, and mind you, I was already performing now and I liked it. I had never done anything of this sort before. And it kind of came to me very, very naturally. And she supported me. So I said, I want to feel what it's like to be on a movie set. I know this sounds crazy, but I went and I did it twice, Hollywood feature. I loved it so much. I would have been a gopher. I would have been a coffee runner. I absolutely. So then there weren't really many classes. You couldn't find classes in Miami very much. Mm-hmm. So I actually got an agent. I got headshots. I stayed, I did some auditions here and there. There's not much happening in Miami. Hasn't been for a long time. But the end of 2017, so it was from 2005, cut forward 12 years. I decided, you know what? I want to take Lori Wyman's masterclass for auditioning. She's a big casting director in Miami. And I took the class, learned how to, first time, but learning how to audition on tape, on film. And it was very grueling, very hard, but it was great. And I think I grew a lot. Then beginning of 2018, I took we had a couple of classes downtown at a place called Filmgate. And from that, there was something called Naked Angels that started. That's a group that does cold readings, and they're in LA, Chicago, New York. So this woman, Diana Lotte, brought down Naked Angels. So we suddenly there was film community already, but now we had a small film community in Miami who actually could meet somewhere once a week, Tuesdays at 9. And the screenwriters would bring their screenplays and we would read. Diana would pick whatever actors to go on stage and we would just cold read. Networking. Wonderful. That's where I met a lot of people and I really started to get it going. I did short films, got to know people. People wrote. There were a couple of people who wrote roles for me. Mm-hmm. And so but in March of 2018, that kind of came to a little bit of a halt and I had a stroke.
What?
Yeah. I had a stroke, which was like totally out of nowhere. I fully recovered. They discovered I have a clogged artery and they don't know why. It could be genetic. I've always been pretty healthy, low cholesterol. I do have high blood pressure. So that was a very freaky thing to go through. It was really, really wild. I went through OT and PT for about 2 or 3 months. Yeah, it was pretty eye-opening. Just, I thought, you know what? We don't know when anything can happen. I could have been debilitated. I wasn't. I wasn't. Thank God. So I decided I really want to keep pursuing the acting, and it just kind of kept growing, and it just became more a part of me, to where I knew my daughter wanted to move here to be near her little sister. And I thought, you know what? Atlanta is where it's happening. I'm going to go too. I'm going to follow you, Alana. And again, it was just kind of a snowball. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I came up, I got an agent right away, thanks to somebody that I knew. And I've had a million auditions. I haven't booked yet, but that's where I am now. And in the middle of all that, I did try to start my own tax business. I hated it. I almost self-destructed. That's where Jess helped me. I don't want my own clients. You can have them. So I'm going to start a new job at a firm, like not low stress, 30 hours a week, structure, benefits. I don't do well without the structure. I don't do well. Like for me, my entrepreneurship is being an actor. That's my acting business. And that's heavy on the creative side, which I absolutely love. So that's where I am now. I could keep going. I'm just going to say it. One of the biggest things that's happening right now is, I came out of the closet in 2010. I was 46. My kids were teens. And after marriage, took me a while to figure out what was going on with me for all those years. You know, people ask me, oh, what happened? When did you turn? I'm like, that's not it. It's always like this. It was 1980 when I met him, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I was young. And so I decided, I started meeting women when I found lesbian community, which was very difficult to find at first. 4 years later, I was meeting women just like me. Oh, you were married to a man for 15 years? You have children with this man, but you're lesbian? Wait, same story. Like maybe other people knew, but I didn't realize how common it was. And I thought, I want to make this a movie. I want to write this. I want to make it a movie. So my daughter, my best friend, said, no, you need to make it a series because you have a lot of material. So I have a writer. It's a young man who loves my story. We're best friends. We wrote a pilot. We got an award recently in Miami. And I was approached by a local producer from Fort Lauderdale, Shona Tuckman. I don't know if you know her. And she wants to, we're going to do a shopping agreement, which means she's going to pitch it and shop it around to all the different platforms. And I am elated and excited beyond belief because I'm starring in it. And I want it to get picked up. And I just want to bring it to life because I think it's relatable. And I think people will... It's going to be a dramedy, so hopefully it's fun.
I was just going to ask you, is it a drama? Is it like, how is that? Yeah, I like that.
It's a dramedy based. I'm really inspired. My writer and I, he actually told me about Fleabag.
Yeah.
About a year ago. And then I became obsessed with Fleabag and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And so it's kind of the tone of that, where you have very dark, life is dark and life is funny.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do that.
So one of my longtime friends here in Florida and my neighbor, your stories are very similar as far as coming out of the closet. She's married, has 2 boys. I used to babysit her boys. We used to go out to dinner as couples, like hang out. And yeah, she probably, gosh, I want to say it was, my daughter's 22. Yeah, probably about 10 years ago. She was like,
Yeah.
It's not, and she's the same way. Like, she met her husband in college. They were young, and she had, in her words, experimented and thought that was all it was, but it really wasn't. And Yeah, I actually was with her when she met her wife that she's with now. We were out. She wanted to go out to a local lesbian bar, but she was nervous. It was her first time. So she asked me and one of our other neighbors, the three of us used to always hang out. She's like, will you guys please go with me? And we're like, yeah, of course we'll go. We'll support you. And she ended up meeting her current wife there.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Good for her. I'm still single after all that. Man, it is not that. And I've gone to a million mixers and bar, there aren't that many bars. There's little more going on up here, but not, it's just difficult. You just never know. Well, good for her though. Yeah. I was just I had never not come into my own. So there was no experimenting with boys or girls for me. Mm-hmm. It was just starting to have a very strong attraction when I was already with him and I couldn't tell him.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Wow.
No.
Listen, we get your questions. I know.
Please, I know I talk so much.
Okay, wait, questions. All right, go, Juliana.
So our first question is, Mia, what is your superpower?
I did see the questions ahead of time. It took me a minute. Like I've never really thought of that, but my superpower is, there's a couple ways I can put it, but I want to put it in a nice way, is, okay, my superpower is I know that I'm very likable, but really instead of turning it on to myself and, oh, look at me, I'm so likable, I feel the reason I am is because I make people feel comfortable, that I'm warm and accepting. I've been told this, these are other people's words, but I know it because I'm around people enough to know, I know when people feel comfortable and feel, good, being around me, and I can just tell. So I think being likable, just which makes the world so, the world's mine, because I can, unless it's somebody who just, you can't, has a tough exterior that you don't want, well then fine, you go away, then I'll deal with all the nice people. But no, it's gotten my kindness and my likability has gotten me things and places, and it's very gratifying, and it feels good. So yeah.
Oh, I also, like we've just met today, and I think you just come across as very authentic and very yourself. And I think that in itself, it makes you likable, because, when you're around someone and you're like, who really are they? They're trying to be whoever they think people want them to be or whatever. Right. And it's, but you just come across as very authentic. So I think that contributes to your likability.
Thank you very much. It's cool.
Our question number 2 is, what is your favorite book or book that has greatly influenced your life? Okay. I always am hesitant to say this around bookies. What did you call yourself? My mom was an avid book reader, and I do Audible because I fall asleep. But this right here, Existential, you know this book? I have not read it, but I'm also laughing because we speak often of a book called Pussy. So I'm sure Kink will
Carolyn
make some
Elliot,
people uncomfortable. Yeah. Existential Kink. My daughter, just very briefly, I said to my daughter, I'm renting a room right now. I don't have my own place yet. So my daughter came over and I said, Alana, I said, I have a feeling like sometimes I'm untidy, but not horribly. I don't put the clothes away when I should. And I said, I have a feeling that maybe I like this. She said, oh, Mom, you need to read Existential Kink. And I said, what are you talking about? So when I got it and I'm listening to it for the second time, I started listening to it. I got overwhelmed. So then I started again. Anyway, basically, having is evidence of wanting. So what we have, I'm delving into right now of why I'm single. That's my main thing, because I want a partner. I'm ready for it. And Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So it's just, this book for me is mind blowing. I am getting a lot from it. And I think it'll open my mind more to the things you were talking about. I think I'll be able to see things in a different light because of her.
Sounds really good. It sounds really good.
Amazing.
We'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. question number 3 is, what is your favorite self-love practice?
Oh yeah, I thought about that one too. I don't really have like a traditional, I should, but I don't. And I think I should, like, whether it's yoga, meditation, baths with crystals and candles and all that. I don't do that. Not that I don't like it. I just don't do it. So napping is self-love for me, and going to karaoke is self-love for me.
Yeah.
That's my self-love.
It's great self-love.
No, I love that. And I was actually this morning just, having these thoughts in my head, and I actually commented it on Facebook in relationship to something that someone else had posted, that I think I would love to eliminate the word should from all language. Like, I don't think we should anything. Like, do what you need, do what you want, do what you feel, but don't do what you should.
You're right. Don't shit on yourself, as they say.
Yeah.
So like, okay, one person's thing is getting a massage, and massages are good for you, but if it doesn't resonate with you, if it's not your thing, then no, you shouldn't do it, because it's not going to give you the self-care that you need. So,
Good
point. Whatever. I'm like, if picking your nose feels good to you, that can be self-care, like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, if it makes you feel good and feel better, and it feels like you're taking care of yourself, feels like you're loving yourself, and it's not harming anybody else,
right.
that can be your self-love practice. So, yeah.
Good to hear. Thank you. Good to hear.
Listen, I practiced self-love of a nap today because I really just needed it. Then I took a nap. So there you go.
And I love that people can nap. I can't nap. I feel worse after a nap. So, I'm not going to choose that as my self-love. And that's okay. Even though, but if it's your thing, that's awesome.
Right.
Yep. Oof. All right. Our final question, Mia, is, how do you create accountability in your life?
Well, I see two aspects. Well, how do I create accountability? I'm just going to, like, the big aspects for me would be work, and then my other work, which is acting, and my other work is being an accountant. So I just got a job. I was trying to do remote for a year. I had no accountability, and I was failing miserably, and I was very, very unhappy. So having a real job, it's going to hold me accountable. Going to an office, having bosses, that for me is good structure. Acting, the accountability that I have really is self-driven, and I'm like stunned to actually have this come out of my mouth, but I'm actually really good at it because I want it so much and I enjoy it so much. So, and writing the series with Chris, he and I hold each other accountable. We have weekly Zoom meetings, and so, that's pretty much it, I think.
I love hearing that you say that about, because so for me, I do holistic nutrition. I have my own clients, but I also work for a company, and I do their human resources and help with their students with wellness and their staff and stuff. And there's definitely different levels of accountability for each one of those, right? Like, for the job that I do for the Gold Digger Girl, I'm accountable to my boss. I'm accountable to the women that I work with. I'm accountable to the whole team. I'm accountable to the students that I'm there to help, right? For my work, my business, which is definitely harder to hold accountable because no one's bossing me. I'm my boss, right? No one's telling me what to get done. It's me telling me to do it. So I completely hear you and agree. I mean, I think that there is something to be said for the structure of working in an office and for somebody else, for sure.
Thank you. I feel so much better. I had stomach problems because of, and I'm feeling so much better. But on the acting side, just really quickly, an actor, here's like, it's an overall accountability. What do they say an actor's job is? An actor's job is to keep training and doing auditions. you have no control over the jobs that you book.
Right.
So what do? I have a class that I absolutely adore. I go once a week. My agent seems to be working because she's sending me auditions, and then I'm doing my self tapes and submitting them. So I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Like, there's not much more I could really do. Maybe take 10 classes a week. That would be crazy. I'd burn out. So
right. No, I think that's great.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's takeaway time. So Allison, what is your takeaway?
I like the superpower and likability. I think that is a huge superpower. And let's be real, not everyone's likable. I mean, let's be straight up. There's many people I've met that I don't like them when I meet them, right? So having that likability and being able, like you even use the word kindness and just making people feel comfortable, that's a huge superpower.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
It's not something everybody has for sure. I mean, yeah.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And me?
My takeaway, what I loved is like, you like choosing at this stage in life to pursue acting. Like, because, and especially coming from an accounting world, where everything is so, like this, and for you to just go like, I want to do something the complete opposite. Like, it couldn't be more opposite. And for you to be able to just take that risk and just jump and do it. Because, like, how many times do we hear, I hear it from my friends, like, oh, I'm too old to change now. This is what I've been doing, and I got to stick with it. And, like, everything that you've been through, having a stroke and all, like, none of this stopped you. Like, you just kept going and evolving and changing into becoming who you are. And it's never too late to become who you are. So nice. I want everybody out there listening to hear that.
Wow. So, lovely.
So Mia, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway is hearing you girls say what your takeaways are. Great takeaways. I'm taking that. No, really, the shoulda thing. I don't need to do that to myself, to say, shoulda, and that whatever it is for me, that's my self-care, is okay. So it's basically, you both kind of encapsulated the whole self-care thing. I don't have to say shoulda, and it can be a nap, and it can be karaoke, because I'm always think it's got to be spiritual, and I don't know why. I think it's just commercialism does this to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of society is always putting things on us that we think like we have to be like other people. No. The greatest thing that we can be is ourselves.
Right.
And all of us being ourselves also gives everybody else permission to be themselves.
Nice. I like that. There's another takeaway. No, really, it was great. Oh my God, this was too fun. I could just keep talking with you.
You know what my other takeaway is today? Every single guest we had today, because we do 4 shows when we record
back to back.
Every single one said this was fun, and I love that.
I do too.
You're doing it very well. Well, you're both very likable and pleasant, and
We're borrowing your superpower.
We try to have fun. Like people, I know, because we realize that people come on here and a lot of times they're nervous. Like, and really, it's just the 3 of us having a conversation. And so we just have fun with it. And
thousands of people are going to listen, but right now it's just us 3.
Right. Exactly.
So cool. Yeah. I want to know when it comes on. That's very cool.
You will. I'm sure Jess will definitely be letting you know for sure. She lets all of our guests know, but she'll for sure let you know.
Yeah, she will. She texted me. How long have you been doing this podcast?
February.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
We started talking about it last summer.
Okay.
And then we decided, I guess, probably August or September.
I think we recorded, because wasn't our first one gratitude? So I think we started recording in November, but actually started getting them out there into the world. Yeah. Early 2021. So
yeah.
Congratulations. Do you know Susan Marinello?
No.
No, she did Gratitude. She's a producer. She produced a film we shot last weekend in Miami.
Nice.
Yeah. So great. Well, congratulations. I think you're doing a great job. Very inspiring. I've always had that in the back of my mind. I'd love to do a podcast. Maybe I will.
I'm excited to hear about your series. I really hope you please let us know what happens 100%. With that, because I think that would be fabulous.
I will let you know, because I'm working it. I'm having an entertainment attorney and a meeting next week, and I'm so excited.
That's awesome. All right.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you for joining us, Mia, and thank you to our listeners. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, visit our website, votgpodcast.com, and there's a form on there you can fill out, and we will get in touch with you to have you on the show. And I want to wish everybody out there a magical day.
Thank you.